There are many reasons why almost half of children, 41%, grow up without knowing their fathers. Most of the reasons why are attached to liberal economic policies like the massive welfare state and liberal cultural norms. But the most jarring example of fueling fatherlessness in our society is the family court system, the largest governmental institution directly responsible for fatherlessness and arguably discrimination in the already crumbling family. I'm Jay Feza from the Rebel.media, and let me explain to you the problems with the family court system. It's a known statistical fact that 50% of marriages end in a divorce. What's unknown is that 70 to 80% of divorces are filed by women. Interestingly, we don't see a significant gender divide in breakups of long-term boyfriend and girlfriend relationships. In long-term non-marital relationships, girlfriends initiate breakups 50% of the time. But in marriages, wives initiate divorces 70 to 80% of the time. So what's to account for all these significant differences? What's to account for the divide? In other words, what do wives see in the benefits of leaving their partners that girlfriends do not see or cannot achieve? That's where the family court system comes into focus. The family court system incentivizes wives to leave their husbands. Why? They have a pretty sweet deal. If a woman divorces her husband, she and her husband are sent to these special kind of courts called equity courts. In these equity courts, there are no juries, there are not really any lawyers unless hired, so you're not guaranteed to a lawyer, and perhaps most important is that there are no recordings of the courtroom process. There's no transcript, no writer, no voice or electronic recording, nothing to physically document the specifics of what happened in the courtroom trial during that time of the divorce. Thus, there's no appeal process. How could a court have appeal process? No one documented the specifics of the trial, so if an injustice took place, like let's say the judge went off on you, you have nothing to go by. In addition, legally speaking, you're not guaranteed any appeal process in a court of equity law anyway. If a woman divorces her husband, a judge is the only person she has to convince to get what she wants. If she wants kids, for example, she just has to convince the judge. A judge is the only person the couple has to answer to. And according to the statistical data, judges on average side with a woman 70 to 80% of the time, which, by the way, is a statistical number of times women divorce. You know, technically speaking, the courts aren't necessarily discriminating against men. What's obvious, though, is that these individual judges, and more so we as a society, have our own preconceived biases and notions of the roles of both men and women take in regards to raising the family. And these biases and notions of roles are exhibited in what's supposed to be an impartial institution. We see these injustices occur daily. We live in a society, a feminist society, where it is the accepted norm that women demand equality in the public space while also maintaining special privileges in the private space. And in this case, it leads to millions of children being fatherless and men childless in society. I'm Jay Feza from the Rebel.media. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the Rebel.media.